Hey everyone, what's up? We're back with another YouTube video for today. So this time around, we're gonna be going through the OBS scenes and sources. So if you want stuff like your BRB, a mirroring scene, a zoom in effect, move around, stuff like that. We're gonna be going over how to do some of that, or how some of the ways that I've learned how to do some of that stuff. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna go ahead. We'll just jump in on the scene right now. So right here, I have OBS already open from the last time of when we did like the short brief, like how to use OBS and sources and stuff like that, right? So there's gonna be another way of getting all your sources into one scene without having to have like so much of a mess of adding a whole bunch of different scenes over here. So adding a bunch of different browser sources, adding pictures, adding video capture devices. There's going to be a lot of different, or not a lot of different ways, but there's going to be like two main ways. And this is going to be how I do it as well again. So first one, it's going to be by grouping. Grouping, there is a way in OBS. So down here in OBS, you can go right here. When you click on the add sources, there's a little folder. There's a little icon right here with a folder that says group. You can make a group folder of anything. So let's say for the first one, we're going to call it notifications, right? So right here, there's nothing inside the group folder. So what you can do, let's say you have a bunch of different notifications separately for Streamlabs or Stream Elements. So you can bring up in the folder right here in your notifications, and it'll just show up right here already as one thing. And you can move it around, replace it, resize it. Everything that you affect in the folder will also just like take effect to the actual source as well. So that would be one way, and then I can kind of show like what I mean with the grouping of how it affects everything with the webcam. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna make a new source. We'll just name it testing mirror, right? So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna copy the same kind of layout right here. So webcam, main desktop, and our notifications, right? So we're gonna video capture device, add existing webcam, which is our game capture, which showing Xbox, the Xbox right now. Display capture, main desktop. So if this happens right here where your webcam is supposed to be showing right here, don't panic, no worries. You can hit the little up button right here to move it up, and it'll be on top of it. As well as you can drag it, put it back down, or put it back up, or shortcut, you can do control when you have something selected, control up and down. So you can always put the webcam on top. So next would be browser source, Streamlabs. We'll leave that exactly how it is right there. We'll shrink it a little bit, and then we'll add the same thing for the camera, since we want to try and test the mirroring for the webcam, or like to add a webcam source, like two of the same in one grouping. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go back here, we're gonna hit plus, add a group. We're gonna have it called webcams. Hit OK, and then you can drag each individual webcam into it, and it will be all in one folder. And then again, you can adjust both of them all at the same time. You can see how there's one over here and there's one over there, and it's being adjusted. You can still, however, go to each one individually inside the folder to adjust it. So if you wanted to make one camera bigger than the other, you can do that. You can move the camera separately on its own from inside the grouping of the folder. And then as well as, like, same thing with the other camera. You can make it a little bigger, make it a little smaller inside the webcam. But then when you close it and you want to move and adjust each of them, you're going to be adjusting the whole thing. So you can see like I am adjusting the whole camera for both webcams over here. And if I were to do the same or add the same group in the main one right here, the webcams, you can see that it still keeps its form from the last time we just messed around with the editing and the size of it. So if you wanted to make it bigger on this one, this will stay the same here. But I believe if you mess with something inside the grouping folder, so let's say we're gonna make this one move down here instead, right? It will also adjust to the other scene of the grouping. So we're gonna go ahead and close it. We're gonna go to mirroring, and you see it's been replaced. Like the form has been replaced from messing around with the webcam in the grouping folder. So I don't personally really like that of how that works. I usually want to have it already like set, and then if I wanted to change it, you can do that like separately on its own. Again, this is one way that you can do it, to have everything group into one folder and make it look a lot cleaner without having so many different webcams or like different browser sources and video capture devices all at once. So that's grouping by default with OBS with their folders and stuff. It can be for anything as well. It can be for all your pictures, or slideshows, all your browser sources, all your game captures, or if you're playing on PC. So again, that's one way. Another way is going to be using your scenes as your sources. So this is actually the way how I do it, how I use all the scenes, or not all the scenes. I set up a couple of different scenes to be able to have it all just use whatever I have set as the sources in a different scene as my, let's say, my mirroring or my BRB or the zoom in effect, right? So I'm going to go ahead. This is kind of, again, the way how I do it. I'm going to add scene, and I'm just going to put like a bunch of dashes so that way we can separate the two right here, right? So then we'll add another one, and we'll call this scene sources. So what does this mean? Why do you have scene sources? So from here, for me, I go ahead, I add my alert box, right? So we're gonna have my Streamlabs alert box right here. We're gonna have the video capture device for the webcam right here. And they're gonna be right here, black screen by itself on its own. And then we're gonna add, let's say we're adding a scene again. Let's call it a gaming scene, right? Like your gaming capture scene. We're gonna put this on top over here, and we're gonna hit the plus, and we're gonna hit the scene sources right here, right? So you're gonna see all your scenes that you have created and the sources that's already in there. I'm gonna click scene sources, and from there you can see already. Whoops. Okay, there we go. You can see already from me adding the scene sources, the webcam and the notifications. You can't see it, but it's there. If I click onto scene notifications or scene sources, I'm sorry, you can see the Streamlabs alert box is there, and it will be there. And then if you don't want to mess it with anything else, and then add your game capture or your desktop capture, you can do that right here. We can put that on top of the scene sources, on top of the main desktop, and you can see that nothing gets messed around with too much of the desktop or the game capture source that you're using. So this is, again, kind of the way how I do it. So I'll explain a little bit more right now for how I get, like, let's say the zoom in, and as well as like, moving left around on the screen, or having like different effects. You can also have different BRB screens and stuff like that. So I'll explain right now, other than with the scene sources. So after, let's say you have the scene sources, right? And again, you wanted to try and do, let's say, this effect to mirror yourself, right? If you wanted to mirror yourself, you can add it as a scene source. So we'll call this camera sources, right? So we're gonna add video capture device, webcam, and we'll shrink that down. And we'll add it again, video capture device, webcam, and we'll put them here and here. So from there, or actually let's put it down a little bit lower, and then we'll add, let's say, the browser source for Streamlabs, so we can get our notifications whenever we do switch to the mirror scene. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make a new source, mirror scene, right? So we're gonna put that underneath gaming, and from there you're gonna add scene inside of mirror scene, and then camera sources. You see the two webcams, and then from there you want to add your game capture or main desktop or whatever it is that you're using. If it's not showing up for some reason after you add, just make sure you switch scenes. For some reason, that seems to be a bug in OBS at the current moment. I'm not sure if they're going to try and fix that anytime soon, or anything like a quick hotfix update. But in any case, now we have the main desktop and the camera sources right here. Boom. Now you have the mirroring scene for, like, again, for this effect or for a different effect that you want to try and like have all together. So you have the camera sources right here. You can adjust it, you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. But from there, if you want to adjust it anymore, you want to move it, you can move it, and then when you go back, it's going to be moved. It's going to be placed right where you left it in the scene source. That's what I like to call it. So yeah, you can you can adjust it. So if you wanted to flip this or turn it around, flip horizontally, you can right click on it and then you can hit order, transform. You can rotate 90 degrees, rotate counterclockwise or clockwise, rotate 180, flip horizontal, flip vertically. So if you wanted to, flip it upside down and be completely upside down, like how I do, like over, like right here, this is gonna be like how you do it, how you add that, like, not effect, but how you add the transformation to your cameras or to anything really, to your scenes, to your notifications. So you can always make adjustments to that. So you see now is how the camera for the webcam is upside down. One more thing I'll add to how to do like the zoom in, right, really quick. I think that a lot of people kind of like that. So we can still keep the camera sources, right? So we'll leave the camera sources as they are right now, and then the mirror scene, right? So if you want to use it to try and like zoom in, so you're gonna add a new scene and call it zooming in. Then you can put that, and you can also, let's say, separate from like the funny effects and your sources. Name is already in use. We'll add that longer. Okay, so zooming in, these are your main scenes. Zooming in, camera, and your scene sources, right? So zooming in, we're gonna add in the whole scene for the mirror scene, right? And then we're gonna just come down here, bring it all the way down, bring the canvas down, and just stretch it out like as much as you can, or as much as you want. So that would be like how you zoom in. So then, you're playing, it's normally playing, and then all of a sudden something happened and you just like hear a notification, hear a sound or something in game, you're just like, you're just kind of surprised. You look into the camera or you zoom in. So that's like essentially like how like this would go, you know. You're just like, what was that, you know? Oh, I'm scared, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much like how are the two different ways for setting up the scenes and sources for OBS. Different ways to group, and as well as like to have like a little bit of effect and stuff like that. But yeah, if anyone did enjoy this, found this helpful, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, I do stream actually a lot occasionally, so I'll drop the link down below to my stream. If you have any questions, you can always pop up. Again, streaming most of the time already. But other than that, come by, say hi. Tell me if there's anything that you'd like to see, or even just still leave it down below, like the comment, and let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see. But anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.